Hello everybody and welcome to DRL TV. I'm your host James Pandolf, and tonight is the season finale for the Dynasty Racing League Truck Series here at Phoenix, currently underway with qualifying. Let's take a look at our Championship 4 drivers and who to keep an eye on tonight. We got Dakota Wilkins in the 44, currently underway with qualifying, currently second quickest. Then we have the 21 of Richard Springer, 6 wins on the season. He's a most likely the favorite to win tonight. And then we have the 45 of Steven Sims. And last but not least, we have Austin Collins in the 98, who has won 2 of the last 3 races. He's on a hot streak. Will he be able to do it again here tonight at Phoenix? About 3 minutes to go left in the qualifying session. We'll see if we can pull in some drivers for interviews once they complete their qualifying laps. As we see, Austin Collins had spun out there. That's going to affect him for qualifying. He'll have 110 laps to make it up if he should be starting in the back of this one. We'll see him go onto the track again. Let's go from the cockpit view and see how we drive around Phoenix International Raceway. And it looks like he's gonna park it just before the start finish line and try again. With 2.5 minutes, he should have enough time to settle lap. Looks like he's not having fun trying to set a lap time. Let's see if we can pull in somebody else. Rod Bosner on the 10. See him do his qualifying out lap. Down into turn number 1, brake early, get down to that first groove if you can, preferably hug that yellow line. Oh, and he gets a bit loose coming off the corner. Great save though. You see where he is on the apron right now, ladies and gentlemen. You'll see a lot of truck drivers doing that tonight. The apron is a little shortcut. They call that the dog leg. You cut the dog leg and come up onto the banking once again as you enter down into turn number 3. We'll have to keep an eye on that, see if any truck collisions happen, as that is likely to happen coming from that dog leg back up onto the racing track. As you see Rod Bosner doing just that, cutting the dog leg and then coming back onto the track as he heads down into turn 3. Getting right down to that yellow line. 30 seconds remaining. He'll be able to cross the line. See if he can improve off his 33.382. And he will, a 28.145. Excuse me, a 28.111. Good enough for 11th at the moment. Looks like that'll wrap it up for qualifying. Let's see if we can pull in some people real quick. Hey, Craig Meyer, this is the broadcast booth. You have a copy?
Yes, sir. Got a copy loud and clear.
Well, unfortunately, we haven't had the broadcast going the last couple of races, so we wanted to bring you in real quick. You've been pretty hot the last couple of weeks, winning 2 of the last 4 races, Talladega and Kansas being the other one. Do you think you'll have a shot to play spoiler here tonight, Phoenix?
Well, if it wasn't being broadcast, I'd say yes, but consider it's being broadcast, I'll probably choke it away.
Well, you have been fast lately, getting those 2 wins. Currently starting in the 9th position. You'll have a little bit of work to do starting about midfield, but we're going to interview the pole sitter real quick and get this race underway. So good luck to you out there tonight, and hopefully talk to you at the end.
Appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good broadcast.
Let's see if we can pull in our pole sitter tonight. He's one of the Championship 4 drivers, Richard Springer. Actually, looks like we won't be able to because Phoenix is a 1 lap to get going racetrack. So let's go through the starting lineup. Richard Springer, Daniel Holloway make up row number 1. Dakota Wilkins, Championship driver, and Jared Gordon alongside him. Steven Sims, the third of the 4 Championship drivers, starts 5th. Jim Westerfield alongside him. Jarrett Rogers, David Wright make up 7th and 8th. Craig Meyer, we just spoke to him, and starting in 10th as the last of the 4 Championship drivers, Austin Collins. Brent Kincott starts 11th, Dustin Jones 12th. As the pace truck pulls off, we're getting ready to go racing. Richard Springer, great restart by him. This is going to lead us down into turn number 1. About a Ford truck breakaway entering turn number 3. The battle on for second between Dakota Wilkins, Daniel Holloway. Steven Sims gets around the 82 of Jared Gordon. As Wilkins makes the passes now, Richard Springer, Dakota Wilkins, Daniel Holloway, Steven Sims. Jim Westerfield making up the top 5. Richard Springer having no trouble early on, about a half second is now the lead over Dakota Wilkins. These guys will have 2 additional sets of tires to use during this race of 110 laps. They should be able to split it about halfway on fuel. As the 25 goes around into the 9, that's Craig Meyer, Jarrett Rogers, and more contact. That was the 28 of Cody Barber hitting the 9 of Jarrett Rogers. Very unfortunate, as we just spoke to Craig Meyer, and he was talking about possibly choking their way. Go onto a far chase view. Entering turn number 3. CJ Rogers able to inch ahead of him, but Craig Meyer had that run coming along the high side. And then he just gets loose and clips the 9. And they both end up in the wall. As the lead is up with the pace truck, we'll see if anyone decides to pit. And joining me in the booth is Jarrett Rogers. Unfortunate accident coming early on for you. It's going to end your season race early. Looks like Craig Meyer just got loose off turn 4 and ended up clipping you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just part of it, I guess. Kind of sums up my season in a whole, but, you know, I had nothing to lose, so it doesn't really hurt my feelings too much there.
Absolutely. We are under our first caution of the night. As we take a look back at your season overall, Jarrett, you had your one and only win this year coming early at Texas. That was able to lock you into the playoffs. Just a bit of bad luck going the last few races, but not too bad of a season overall. You get a top 10 finish in the point standings.
Yeah, you know, you can't complain too much with the season I had. I mean, I had that miracle win at Texas, and then there was probably a few LA to get away. But, you know, like you said, bad luck had a big play in this year for me, I believe. I mean, just like you saw, kind of summed it up for me this year. But there's always next year. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, 3 second place finishes for you. One of them was the spring race here at Phoenix.
Yeah, definitely not the same track as it was in spring for sure. A lot of these guys have been talking about how it's loose coming in and out of the turns, and I don't know what Richard Springer's doing, but he has figured it out, and it's going to be fun to watch him tonight.
It is indeed Richard Springer looking for his second championship in Dynasty Racing League. We'll see what he'll be able to do, as it looks like Pace Truck's going to duck off. And we'll get going once again. Another great restart by Springer, as he and Daniel Holloway might be able to clear that outside lane into turn number 1. Looks like Holloway will clear it. That's actually going to open the door for Steven Sims to get inside of Wilkins, try to take the third away. And we know Jarrett, your teammate Austin Collins, is competing for that championship here tonight, currently in the 6th position. Did you guys do much practice throughout the week?
I can't speak for him personally. I had a lot of stuff going on last week and whatnot, so I honestly, this is the first time I stepped on the track tonight. I mean, I got faith in him. He's pretty good at figuring out these tracks pretty easy, pretty quickly. Practicing, he seemed to find some good speed. Just hoping to see if he can keep his truck clean and see if he can make a run for that win at the end.
Absolutely, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he has won 2 of the last 3 races, both pretty much dominating that 3rd round of the playoffs, winning at Charlotte and Martinsville. So if he can keep on this hot streak, he has a very good shot. He'll have to try to get around that 21 truck, who's already off to another half-second lead, only 2 laps into this restart.
Yeah, and I believe that's going to be the story of the race right there. If he can get up to the 21 at least, up to a good starting spot. I mean, he probably need a couple restarts, honestly, to get up there, but he's already making good work of these guys, already up to 5th, starting 10th. Of course, up in front of him now are playoff drivers, so it's going to get a little bit harder from here on up.
Yeah, that was the 45 of Steven Sims. He got around. Now he's going to try to work over 42 of Dave Wright. It looks like the top 10 have single filed out for the moment. Less than 100 laps to go.
Yeah, I think the big story here tonight is going to be who saves their tires and who knows how to get around this track on those old tires so it can't get a little icy coming out of these turns. Definitely going to have to be watching these late runs for a spin out of a turn or some side-by-side racing that could get pretty hairy.
Yeah, these drivers only have 2 additional sets of tires. See how they use them wisely. Nobody went in to pit for that first caution flag, so everyone's still on their original sets. And I'm not 100% sure, maybe you know, Jarrett, are you guys able to go on a one-stop race if these guys decide to do such a strategy?
I believe if you can maybe stretch it, but I honestly don't see anyone doing that with the tires falling off like that. I'm pretty sure they're going to want those tires before the fuel becomes an issue, which, I mean, you never know. It is the last race of the season. Someone could gamble, but I feel like the time made up will not really equal out to you staying out that long.
That is a very good point, as it looks like Cody Barber is back on pit lane. He got into the wall, and I believe it was your truck as you guys were spinning on that front stretch, so it looks like his night isn't going to go the way he wanted either.
Yeah, tough break there for Cody on the last race of the season.
And it looks like Holloway might be closing in slightly on Springer. Not by much, but he and Wilkins keep him within a distance.
Yeah, you know, you never know if that's actually him catching up or is Richard just playing that saving game, which we all know he is very good at doing. this new tire modification threw him for a little bit of a wrench in his plans this year, but he still came out pretty strong this year with 10 top 5s and 12 top 10, 6 wins. So obviously he still knows something, and it's going to be fun to watch to see if they do catch him, if he does end up pulling away again or be able to make the pass.
Yeah, this is Richard Springer defending his title. He was the 2019 Series champion. So he has a lot of pressure on him to be able to defend such a title. See Wilkins trying to get to the inside of Holloway, not quite able to do it through turn 3 and 4. We'll see what he'll have down in turn 1.
And that's where this race is going to get fun. Trying to getting a pass in on these old tires is going to be really hard to come in there. But honestly, without making contact of any sort, if you don't, you're going to end up slide driving and hoping they give you a position. But I feel like as the race goes on, we're definitely not going to be seeing any easy passes for sure. Inside again on Holloway. We'll see if he can make the pass this time. The inside line's going to be getting rough coming out of the turns. You do get tight, can't push it loose, but he does make it stick. They go side by side down the back stretch.
Trying to cut that dog leg to his advantage. It is legal to do so.
And you got Austin Collins behind him going for a pass on David Wright, which has allowed these two to catch right up to these. So it could be a fun little race coming up right here with these 4.
And that's exactly what Springer wants to see already. A second and a quarter ahead.
Absolutely. He just wants to keep that up. He just wants to see that in his rearview mirror so he can just kind of check out and run his own race, which is what you want anytime, especially in a playoff race and especially in a championship race. These 4 still staying neck and neck. Dakota Wilkins not able to make the pass on Holloway yet. And it's going to be interesting to see how long he can stay down there without calling a wreck.
Right up to the back bumper, these 4 drivers side by side.
Wilkins seems to have the faster truck, but that high line momentum is really keeping Holloway in it. Austin Collins peeking in the middle. Don't think he'll shoot it 3 wide just yet, a little early for that. But he is going to slide into that position and try and follow Wilkins right up to the 3rd position, passing Holloway on the outside.
Great job by Wilkins to clear the 26. He'll have a lot of ground to make up to catch the race leader. 2.5 seconds is now the gap just from that battle alone. We'll see Austin Collins making contact there, coming off the 2.
And that's what it's going to take here, JP. A lot of contact coming out. That's what it's going to take to make the pass here, I believe. You're not going to be able to do it clean unless you just outpace the guy and outpatience him really on that outside line like that.
Able to clear him, move him up to 3rd. Top 3 drivers, all championship 4 contenders. Steven Sims, the farthest one back of the group. He's currently in the 7th position.
And you know, nothing wrong with Steven's position right now. One caution, you're right back up there. Could be playing a waiting game. You want to stay out of trouble, which you can't blame him there. Now the real question is with these 4 drivers, how bad did they kill their tires running side by side like that, trying to make these passes? And if it'll come into a big play with Richard, if he'll be able to extend that lead even more. nice inside on Daniel Holloway. Starting to wonder if Holloway might have burned his stuff up a little bit and trying to ride that high line, trying to hold that position, if it might have come back and bit him already.
It is possible, as you see Wright get around him. Jim Westerfield has now joined the battle for the top 5. Westerfield, one of those drivers who had a deep run into the playoffs. He had a win on the season, 10 top 5s up to this race. He had himself one heck of a season.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're Jim Westerfield, you cannot be too upset with yourself not making this Final Four with the season you had. Definitely not nothing to be ashamed about.
That lead has shrunk slightly. Now it's 2 seconds between
Yeah, they're kind of just carving away right now. It's going to be interesting to see if they'll be able to carve away anymore as they catch maybe a few lap cars here and there, as they are catching Craig Meyer, who goes a lap down. I feel like the best thing these two can do right now in second and third is just kind of ride where they're at, use each other, and just try and catch up to Richard without side-by-side racing like they have been doing, so they can try and at least get caught up and try to get up there to Richard for sure.
Close call coming out of turn 4. Jim Westerfield had to do a basic maneuver to get around the 26 of Holloway. That'll move him up in another position. Steven Sims, as we're about to go 3 wide in turn 3. Black car Craig Meyer way up high, out of the way of these race leaders.
And up front, you have Austin Collins on the inside of Dakota Wilkins looking to make the pass. He sends it deep into turn 1. Easily clears him coming into turn. Very nice pass from Austin Collins there. Dakota's not going away without fighting though. He does gain a little momentum coming back down the back stretch, but it seems to be a little bit too, not enough at the end. It's going to come down to the 3rd position. Now we'll see if Austin Collins has anything left in that truck and them tires to see if he can catch Richard and see if he's just not going to need a yellow. Right now I feel like a yellow would be his best friend for him and honestly maybe Richard as well. Get some new tires and see if he can just pull away from these guys once again.
Going to be coming up to 75 laps to go in a couple laps. If these guys were to split this into a 2-stop race, that would be about 35 laps, a stint if I'm not mistaken. So green flag pissouts might be coming up shortly.
Yep, you're absolutely right, JP. It's going to be interesting if anybody takes that gamble with the tires. See if they can make up that time on the track. From what I'm seeing, I don't think that we're going to have many takers on that right now. I feel like a lot of these leaders, and especially our playoff drivers, are just going to be seeing if they can ride it out, hope for a yellow, and not take that huge gamble because it could come back and really bite you if it doesn't work out for you.
At this moment, 35 laps on their tires. These guys are about a second off of the pace from their fresh tires. You see Richard Springer last lap at 28.684. His best lap is a 27.664.
You know, it just points out even more that 2-stop might not even be in the question, meaning the tires aren't fading as bad as some may assume. They may just try to see if they can catch up or ride it out, you know, catch one stop race. I don't know if it'll be possible or if it's work, but we'll see what happens. Still lots of laps to go here, so anything can happen. And you're really going to start to see here in a few, probably 10 or so laps, 20 laps, see who really used the tires up or bad, who didn't. And we'll be able to see if Richard's been saving up the whole time, or if he's been pushing just as hard as the rest of these guys. Austin Collins has stretched his half-second lead out on Dakota Wilkins as he's still trying to make up ground on Richard Springer. Not too much happening there on the time-wise, and the rest of the guys seem to be single file, just kind of riding it out right now.
Sorry about that pop-up, ladies and gentlemen. Battle for third, heating up. Dakota Wilkins, David Wright, Jim Westerfield. See the Ford Brent Kingcott with a Jimmy Johnson tribute paint scheme on his truck. He's currently in the 7th position. Started in 11th, so he's up 4 spots from the start.
Well, these lap times, it seems to be kind of just neck and neck between the guys in first and second. Austin's not really making too much of a big ground on Richard. It seems to be where he makes it, he loses it, and each turn will back and forth each other. So I think the best thing he can see right now is a caution, or just hope that Richard has burnt his stuff up completely. But knowing Richard, I highly doubt.
Westerfield putting a lot of pressure on David Wright, trying to get that 4th position away.
Leaders are still neck and neck on lap times. No big gains by either person as they keep running. And looking like the big thing coming up here is going to be green flag pit stops here soon, and it's going to be see who can execute the fastest and best without any mess ups. Or last thing you want to do is get a black flag in this situation, and that could be the race if they keep going the pace they're going. As we see Westerfield send it in on David Wright on the inside. David Wright, I believe, said, "All right, I've had enough." Maybe not, though, as he comes fighting back on the inside, going down the backstretch, cutting that dog leg. Going to go side by side into 3, excuse me.
And a caution is out.
And the yellow flag is out. Austin Collins has got to be ecstatic in that car right now. And now he gets to get fresh tires on that truck and see what he has for our leader, Richard Springer.
It looks like it was between Ronnie Outlaw and Dustin Jones going to turn 3. They made contact, but nobody went around. Ronnie Outlaw just had a major slide. He was able to catch it. I'm actually kind of surprised the caution came out for that. But we should expect everybody to come down to pit. 45 laps on these tires.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Need to have perfect pit stops here. Can't overstep your box and can't speed, as you see Richard Springer coming down into his pit box. Perfect stop by him, the right sides go up.
So far looking like clean stops from all of our drivers so far.
And the race off pit road is going to be won by
Austin Collins, I believe. Snuck
Austin
one in on him.
Collins, Richard Springer, Dakota Wilkins, David Wright, Jim Westerfield, Steven Sims, Brent Kingcott. The top 6 to make it out of pit lane.
And this is where the real test is going to come in for Richard. We know he has that fast speed on an open track, nobody in front of him. We're going to be able to see if he can handle Austin Collins in front of him and see if that affects how bad he drives or how hard he's pushing.
Yeah, Austin Collins with a 13.5 second pit stop. Richard Springer had a 14.2.
Yeah, the pit crew really letting Richard down right there as they cause him to lose the first place position. We'll see if he'll be able to make it back out.
We'll be on lap number 50 when these guys go back racing. It'll be a 60 lap shootout. Currently, as they run, Austin Collins, Richard Springer, Dakota Wilkins, David Wright, Jim Westfield, and Steven Sims make up the first 3 rows. All 4 championship drivers within those 3 rows I just named.
You know, I think the guy to watch here, you got 2 guys really you need to watch here. Obviously, your leader, Austin Collins, see if he's able to put some speed down to get away from these guys. And Steven Sims, who's just been kind of riding in the middle of the pack the whole race. See if he's just been kind of laying back, waiting for this caution, and now see if it's time to go, or if he's just lacking the speed tonight.
Big truck ducks off, Austin Collins, the controlled truck. And we're back underway.
Big jump, Austin Collins, bringing it right down to the green flag, catching Richard Springer way off guard. This may cause Richard to lose another spot.
Yeah, Dakota Wilkins stuck his nose down there. He might be able to clear him. He has a bit of a nose on him as they head down into number 3.
And Richard loves to drive it down deep into 3. Well, I don't know if he'll be able to do it on his high side. It doesn't look like it's going to work out for him.
Crossover, he's sideways, Richard Springer.
And he's in the inside wall. Oh,
And the 10 of
no.
Rod Fosnar runs into him. Championship implications for Richard Springer.
That is just heartbreaking. You hate to see it. Going for that position, trying to get everything you get on these restarts, and it just the truck comes around on him.
Let's see if we can see that one more time. Depending on his damage, I think that's going to be it for his championship hopes. He will not be a defending champion in the Dynasty Racing League Truck Series.
Yep, looking like big motor damage there for Richard, as well as getting caught again by one of the rear cars. That could, as you say, be it for Richard Springer.
As we watch this replay, you see he's trying to cut down and do a crossover, but he just gets loose, ends up into the inside wall, comes back around the track, and Fosnar hits him in the tailgate. A lot of damage to that 21 truck.
Yep, that's just hard racing right there, just trying to get everything he can get right there on the restart. He took the opportunity to try and cross some other, but on these cold tires on this track, it is super loose out of these turns. As you see, Richard Springer just loses it coming out, and hate to see it for him, but that's racing for you.
Yeah, heartbreak for Richard Springer, winning 6 of the races this season. Looked to be
Absolutely.
a favorite to go back to back, but that's how it is in this new championship format they have in NASCAR, and you see it bite him in the ass, so to speak, as he ended up overdriving it into the inside wall, and he's now on pit lane for 30 seconds plus. Which is now going to be a very interesting race here on out. with Richard Springer gone. See if any of these drivers will be able to dominate and pull away like Springer was, almost 2 seconds on that last restart. See if Collins or Wilkins will be able to do the same.
Yeah, I believe you're right there, JP. It's going to be, I believe the story is going to be if Dakota can get a decent restart and stay with Austin into these turns, because as we watched on that long run, Austin was able to pull away from Dakota. Now, there were some side-by-side racing in that sequence, but there seems to be just a little bit of a pace gap difference on the long run for them too. But I believe if you get a short shootout run and these cautions do keep coming for Dakota, he will have a chance.
And that also allows Steven Sims to move up a row. He'll be starting right behind Dakota Wilkins on this restart in 4th position. See if he'll have anything for those two.
Absolutely, can't count him out at all. As we all know, he can just sneak up on you at any time and take a win from you in a heartbeat.
I know it's heartbreak for him, but maybe we can pull in Richard Springer for an interview. Hey, Richard Springer, this is broadcast booth. You have a copy?
Uh-oh, I think it just blew. Yeah, I got you.
Well, I know you must be heartbroken after that incident. We had one heck of a season, 6 wins and counting. It looked like you were going to be very likely going to be a defending champion of this series. You want to walk us through what had happened coming off of turn number 4?
I don't really know. It was so surprising to me that it got that loose, and then I was just barely on the throttle. I guess I should have nailed it, maybe spun around. I don't know. And then there was no steering. Once you get so loose, the front end doesn't respond. So yeah, that was kind of weird. It really took me by surprise. I guess the track changed that much, maybe.
It could be possible. No stress tires could have also played a factor, but before we let you go, and as the restart is once underway, Austin Collins, Dakota Wilkins called out relatively quickly. Do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give out for this whole 2020 season is going to be complete after tonight?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, you, James, for doing the broadcast and, of course, running the league, the big job. And all the guys for showing up, right? I mean, you have a lot of participation here. Even in the last race, we had quite a few guys in here. So, I mean, it's a testament to the league that you still got 16 guys showing up, you know, and only 4 of us had a chance at a championship. So, shout out to all of those guys and everybody that participates in the league and helps us out.
Well said.
Absolutely, and this is actually, I just checked the numbers, the lowest turnout we've had this season in the Truck Series. We've averaged over 25 people a race throughout the season. You guys have put on one heck of a showing, and hopefully next year's number is going to be an average of, let's say, 30 or more. You guys have had one heck of a year in comparison to last year.
Big deal is we had a bunch of guys. I had 6 wins. We had Collins with 5. I think Wilkins with 4. Sims with 3. I mean, we had so many different winners in this league. That shows you how competitive it is. Let's not forget, I also got 7 poles.
That is true, as we weren't able to interview for the pole sitter interview, so I guess we could call this that interview. But just wanted to pull you in there real quick. I know you've had one heck of a season, a little bit of heartbreak going on, but that is this format is no more relying on points throughout the year. You got to rely on one race.
It does make it tough, but no, it's good. I mean, that's the way the big boys do it, so that's fine. Yeah, no, it was fun. It's a fun year, long year, but fun. We had a lot of good racing going on out there, so a lot of good moments and a lot of good racing. So that's all you can ask for.
Absolutely. And before we let you go, will we expect you to be participating in the Winter Series coming up this season?
Yeah, I think so. I think you got to put in Darlington, Rockingham, and Iowa, and I'll be happy.
Well, the season schedule should be released either this week or next week, so I'll see what I can do for you, and I look forward to seeing you on the racetrack.
Thank you, James. You guys have a good broadcast.
Thank you. And that was Richard Springer. Definitely a heartbreak for him. You can tell he was a bit disappointed, but as he said, he didn't really know what happened, so these guys are definitely dealing with a handful in these trucks.
Absolutely, and I feel like the only thing that got Richard was his cold tires, trying to make a move with that. And cold tires on there just wasn't going to stick for him. We're looking at the race and looking at our lap times. Dakota is hanging right around with Austin. He's running down. He has ran a faster lap every time so far in this whole race, and he laid down the fastest lap of the race on that last restart. As he goes on the inside, I'm going for the lead, going into 3.
Wilkins had his nose down there. Looks like he'll be able to clear him. Will Austin Collins try a crossover? He does not. He's just going to push him down the front straightaway as Steven Sims has closed the gap.
And you know, there, I think that's just some patience out of Collins there. I think he knows he's faster than Wilkins on some of these longer runs. I think he knows he'll be able to catch him. As he goes on the inside of him, coming down the back stretch, back into 3, and trying to switch it up on him just like last lap.
I just imagine if Richard Springer was still on the track, it would be the championship 4 drivers in the top 4 positions as a crossover. Wilkins to the inside now, entering turn number 1.
Austin sends it in deep there on the outside, trying to stay in that position. He is going to have momentum coming down the backstretch. Well, with that cutout right there, it is going to allow Wilkins to stay right there with him as they go into 3 side by side.
Hanging on tough. Austin Collins should have that high side momentum off of 4. And it's a drag race to the start finish line. Oh man, could you imagine if that was the finish?
Definitely one for the books there. Wilkins got a great exit out of 4 there, making it stick with Stevenson sliding in right behind him, trying to take that second position from Austin Collins.
Maybe even the lead as he tried to get down to the inside of Wilkins, but Wilkins ran him all the way to that inside wall. And that's going to shuffle Austin Collins back 2 positions, possibly 3. David Wright to the inside.
And Austin Collins is a sitting duck right now on the outside line right here. David Wright pushing him on the inside as it looks like he's going to fall another position, back down to 4th position. He is making it stick, though he's not going down without a fight, as you really can't hear, as it's so hard to pass on these old tires. Austin Collins with a big move to send it in under Stevenson, going into 3 right there on the inside. Oh, it gets tight, but he is going to keep it clean there as Stevenson does have the momentum going down into 1.
Battle is on for second. Wilkins is over a half a second lead now.
Great move, Austin Collins there, is to clear himself going into 3 there and make a run at that second position and take it down into 1 on the inside, which is right now just a guaranteed pass with these trucks on these tires right now. Has died down just a bit as these guys have finally decided to get single file and just ride it out for a little bit. There's still plenty of laps left in this race to get in that first position. And we're going to see who can save those tires even more and see who can make a run for the win. Regardless, even if we do get a caution, that will change everything. But right now, the way these guys have been racing, if they can make it through these restarts, it does look like it'll go for a green flag run for quite some time.
As you see, it's the top 6, pretty much nose to tail. Jim Westfield, Brent Kingcott making up the 5th and 6th position. At the line, it will be 40 laps to go for these guys.
These guys have roped in Dakota Wilkins pretty fast here, as it seems also got pretty tight coming out of 4 right there, which is going to allow David Wright to go on the inside of going into 1 and try to take that position from him.
Yeah, David Wright unfortunately missed the playoffs, but he was one race short, as the very first race in the playoffs he won, and that was at Bristol. He would have been a heck of a contender throughout the playoffs, as he's in that second position now. Steven Sims is going to try to get around Austin Collins, falling back in line. David Wright going to try to play spoiler for these guys, as he's going to chase down the 44 of Wilkins.
Absolutely, and it's also a reminder to our viewers, it's not just because the winning driver is not a championship Ford does not mean that the other guys don't win the championship. Whoever finishes highest out of these 4 competitors will be your champion.
That is true. There's no bonus points in play tonight. It's the highest finisher. Westerfield with the move on Sims for 4th.
Lap time still neck and neck for these top 6. No one really getting big of a much of an advantage. Dakota, of course, out there in front, not having to worry about any traffic or any sort of racing, able to keep that half-second lead on these guys as they try to duke it out for second.
Yeah, all 4 drivers ran a 28.5 that time by. As Collins got right up to that back bumper.
Yeah, I believe Collins does have a faster truck right now today, but with this track and these tires start wearing out, it is getting harder and harder to pass these guys.
On board with Collins as he's going to try to dive into the inside. Almost making contact. He got right below that yellow line. He's going to use that to his advantage. As he's on him by a nose. Down into turn 1. He should be able to clear him. Looks like he will. Austin Collins back to second.
Strong pass by Austin there. And as they ride along here, these tires are just going to keep getting warmer. So they're not going to have to worry as much about getting loose out of these turns like they would on restarts. So it's going to allow drivers like Austin Collins out there to pack it in down there on the bottom yellow line, maybe even dip below it, and still not worth. Still be able to keep your speed up without having to worry about having to lift or getting loose or anything like that.
Wilkins going to have to get around the lap check. Craig Meyer looks like he's going to go high and out of the way. Shouldn't be an issue for him. Almost got into the 98 of Austin Collins coming off of turn 4. That would have been ugly.
Yeah, really bad timing there for Austin. He kind of destroyed his momentum coming out of that turn right there.
At the line, we will have 30 laps to go.
30 laps to go, and I still believe it's anyone's race. Dakota is out to almost a 1 second lead, but Austin able to clear David there is going to give him plenty open track to get up there and catch him and see if he can make a charge for that lead and maybe even the win here with the closing laps coming in. The question now is, did Austin have to use up way too much stuff trying to get back around these guys to get back into the second place position, and if he has enough left in the tank to get to Dakota?
These guys are at the halfway point of the run, but I don't expect anyone to pit. I think these guys are going to go the full 64 laps on this set of tires.
Oh yeah, absolutely, JP. The only way anybody's pitting now is if that caution does come out, and right now it could have happened at any time with these, as tight as these guys are still racing, and then someone starts to get desperate for these positions. Able to shave that lead down almost a half a second right there out of 4, but does lose it coming in to the 1 right there. Kind of just back and forth right now with these drivers when it comes to lap times and who can set down a more consistent lap.
Should a caution come out, it'll also be interesting to see if any of these guys try to do 2 tires versus 4. I see what the difference is between that. I'm not sure if 2 tires will be able to handle 4 fresh tires or not. I haven't tried it.
Yeah, I don't know if that'd be the best move to try right now unless you have practiced it plenty, because with these tires, 1, 2 being cold and super hot, you already seen Richard get loose and lose it coming out of 4 on cold tires, so I feel like it'd make one heck of a balance difference for your truck. And it could either work really well for you if you know what's going on with it, or it could end really bad for you and maybe some more.
Wilkins went really low there, coming back onto the track, almost into turn number 3.
Yeah, Wilkins there for a really bad angle going into 3 right there, really costing some time right there, causing Austin to get right into about 3 trucks length on him.
Yeah, that cost him about 2/10 as it were now under half a second.
You gotta start to wonder if Dakota's starting to use some of his stuff up too much, staying up that far, and if it's going to come back to bite him here in the closing laps. As you see, Austin is able to keep it on that yellow line just a little bit closer than Dakota, which every 10th counts here in racing, which can over time add up very quickly. And as he gets closer, you're going to start to see pressure come on to Dakota, which could cause him to maybe even push it too hard into a turn and overshoot it.
At the line, Austin Collins was 1/10 faster than Dakota Wilkins that last lap.
And by the looks of it, looks like Dakota has used up his stuff way too much already. It seems the tires are just starting to fade off faster than the other guys are, which is going to make for some interesting racing here.
We do have the 33 of Roy Grande coming down the pit. See if that's an open door for others to try pitting.
You know, I think that's more just a game of wild card play. You're got nothing to lose. You're riding around the back in the top 10 position. Might as well just come in and see if you can make anything happen with it here. As Austin is right up on the bumper of Dakota coming out of 4 here. I feel like any lap now, maybe even in the next turn or so, he could be going in for the pass. Austin is there. We're going to see if he tries anything going out of 4 here, if he's just going to try and wait for Dakota to mess up. I believe even if Dakota doesn't mess up, Austin does have the more speed in that truck right now. It's going to be able to just do more of a momentum swing than anything here. Still all of them are going into 3 and 4 here. I believe Austin knows he has the fastest truck. He just wants to try and ride it out for just a little bit longer, maybe even just see if Dakota just burns it up even more and make his pass even easier here.
20 laps to go, the pressure is on.
As he shoots it down on the inside, going onto the backstretch, side by side into 3 here.
Oh, wiggle there.
A little bit of a wiggle, loses some speed right there. I thought he was going to have plenty of speed going right there to make the pass, but that little wiggle has costed him pretty much that whole move right there, as they have to reset and try again on the next one.
Yeah, while this is going on, Dave Wright and Jim Westfield are liking what they're seeing. This is going to become a 4-truck battle if Wilkins and Collins keeps this up.
And you have to wonder, David Wright has been known in the league for saving tires. If he has anything more left than these two guys in front of him, he'll be able to play spoiler on these two guys. Austin Collins still sticking to that bumper of Dakota Wilkins. You got to wonder if he's just kind of sitting back waiting for the right moment, if he's just waiting for that last lap pass, or if he's just not sure how he's going to get around him yet.
Dakota doing one heck of a job defending his position.
Absolutely, as he goes a little wide right there out of one, opening the door for Austin to get him on the inside, going down the backstretch to see if he gets that wiggle again. If he doesn't, he could have a good chance of getting the lead right here.
Yeah, that opened the door for him, but Wilkins might have that high side momentum. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Wilkins does have that momentum, as I mentioned, but Collins has that inside line down into number 1.
Absolutely, and as these two guys are battling, you see David Wright and Jim Westfield catching right up to these guys, which can make this even more interesting if they're not able to clear each other here in the next lap or so.
Down into 3, looks like Collins might be able to do it. We'll see what happens at the apex.
Dakota once again with the high line momentum, keeping him in there.
Crossover.
Does clear him.
It's going to be a crossover down into 1, but Wilkins doesn't have it. Doesn't have enough, but that opens David Wright with a huge head of steam.
And it looks like that high line is the preferred line right now with that momentum. You are able to pitch your opponent down there on that yellow line and not really give him much of anything to do. But I have a feeling as these laps tick down, they're not going to worry about who's on their outside and just kind of send it out.
This is what Austin Collins wanted to see, as it looks like Wilkins got loose off 4. There's now 2 trucks in between him and Dakota Wilkins. Austin Collins does not want to see a caution flag.
Absolutely. You got to remember, Austin doesn't have to win. He just has to finish ahead of Dakota and Steven. So if David Wright does make a move or pressure, he does not have to block him or battle him.
As Steven Sims almost slammed that wall off of turn 4, ranking, I was going to get around him with a 5th position.
That really just makes Austin even more comfortable now, as it seems he's got even more of an advantage here. Right now, it's just run consistent laps and hope the caution doesn't come out for you. Lap times are still neck and neck. Austin's not really able to pull away as much as you would think on David Wright. But with these tires, you can't really expect them to be able to do too much here.
Coming to the line, it's going to be 10 laps to go for Austin Collins. Looking at the lap times, Austin Collins ran a 29.0. Dakota Wilkins ran a 28.9, about a 10th faster, but still 2 trucks in between the 2. Not sure if Wilkins is going to have enough time to make anything happen unless the caution comes out.
Yeah, I believe you're right, JP. He's going to need a major mess up from these guys in front of him, or he's going to need that yellow to have any chance here at getting to Austin.
what a dominating performance Austin Collins has had in the playoffs, winning 2 of the last 3 races. He's going to do it again, so if a car should not come out, don't want to jinx it, that would be 3 races of the last 4. Heck of a season for him.
Absolutely. He's been fast all year. Really started to come on here in these playoffs, and when the pressure comes, he has just arose to the occasion here. And all things considered, it looks like he does have plenty of speed left in that truck to keep these guys behind him. So, forbidding a caution, it does look like he will have a championship to his name here in about 5 laps or 6 laps.
Should he be able to hold on, he will tie Richard Springer for the most wins in the season at 6. 3 poles to his name and what would be 15 top 5s and 22 top 10s. A very consistent year out of the 98.
Absolutely. You can't really think back to many races where he has been even wrecked out or had any bad luck. Really, it's just been a good year all the way around for him. Top 5s, top 10s, and absolutely the wins.
Five to go now. Austin Collins leads David Wright by about half a second. Jim Westerfield in 3rd. Dakota Wilkins 4th. Brent Kincott 5th. Stevenson 6th. Dustin Jones, who we haven't really made mention of, is in 7th. Ronnie Outlaw 8th. Daniel Holloway 9th. And Jared Gordon is in the 10th position, 1 lap down.
Yeah, and as you said, that lead has been about a half a second for the last 10 or so laps. I don't really see anything other than maybe some lap traffic up here that could cause an issue, unless he is just, David Wright or Dakota has just, it's a miracle. I don't really see anything happening here at Austin to give away this lead like this.
Greg Meyer up and out of the way for these guys. A great job by him to allow these guys to battle it out. Austin Collins, 3 to go.
All Austin Collins right now is waiting for is that white flag. And of course the checkered, but that white flag would basically put this in cement.
It would indeed. And no cautions come out at the white flag. 2 to go. As he comes off of turn number 4, Austin Collins is in reach of it. As Wilkins almost hit that wall, he wiggled.
Wilkins is giving it everything he's got, but it seems just to be too much, not enough time left to make up for this.
Half a lap to go for the white flag to come out.
Looking back in the pack, doesn't look like any heavy racing to cause a caution or wreck behind them.
White flag is
Open sailing here for
out.
Austin Collins.
Austin Collins 1 lap away from being your 2020 Dynasty Racing League Truck Series champion. He has a half-second lead over David Wright.
Nice and easy around 3 and 4 here. No need to push it hard. As he easily comes through there, and Austin Collins comes off 4.
Make that
Austin
3 of the
Collins.
last 4 races. Austin Collins wins here at Phoenix, and he takes home the championship.
Phenomenal, dominant racing by Austin Collins. They're able to keep that truck clean and drive away from these guys here towards the end.
Started in the 10th position, comes home with his 6th win on the year, and he is now your 2020 Dynasty Racing League Truck Series champion. David Wright comes home 2nd, Jim Westerfield 3rd, Dakota Wilkins 4th, Brent Kincott finishes his year out with a top 5 finish. Let's see if we can pull in some interviews before we get to Austin Collins. We'll start with 3rd place, Jim Westerfield. Hey, Jim Westerfield, there's the broadcast booth. You have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, third place finish, a great way to end the year. Unfortunately, you were eliminated from the playoffs. Could have had a shot at it. Should a caution and flag have come out, you think? Or you think the 98 was just too fast?
Caution would have came out. It would definitely would be interesting. I think we all had a set of tires left, so that would have been a really interesting restart.
Would have indeed. The 21, the Richard Springer, looked like he was just going to dominate the race, but he got loose coming off of turn 4. You were narrowly involved in that, but you were able to clear that. That must have been a heck of a scary moment.
Yeah, that was unexpected for sure, and I hated to see that for Richard. I know he had probably the fastest truck out here, and he was going for a championship. So really sorry for that team, and I know he'll be back next year with a vengeance.
He absolutely will, and I know you joined a few races late, but coming home, you're going to finish 5th in the overall standings with what will be 11 top 5s, 18 top 10s, and you even had a win on the season. So very great season for you overall.
Yeah, we kept it clean too most of the races, and yeah, I was very competitive, very happy how the truck ran all year, and look forward to next season for sure.
Absolutely. We're very glad to have you. Do you think you'll be participating in the Winter Series coming up?
That's unclear right now. I might take some time off to spend it with the family, but if I do run it, I will let you know for sure.
All right, Jim Rushfield, and before I let you go, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give out?
Leroy's Auto Body in Benton Harbor, Michigan. Thank you for sponsoring the truck. Via Lobos Rescue Center for everything they do, and anybody out there watching, I appreciate it. And always remember, don't shop to doubt.
Alrighty, Jim. Congrats on your top 3 finish. Congrats on a great season, and we're looking forward to seeing what you can do this winter, if not next season.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for broadcasting too.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And let's see if we can pull in David Wright. 2nd place finish. Great year for him as well.
Yep, get David, we'll get Steven, and we'll go ahead and get Dakota, and then finish it off with the best for last for Austin there.
David Wright, this broadcast booth, you have a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Heck of a race, coming home in the 2nd position. If a restart would have happened again, do you think you would have had something for that 98?
Well, I think we all had a set of tires left, so it would have been interesting for sure. I'm sure there would have been some people in the back maybe stay out on old tires or tried 2 tires. So uh, it was close battle tonight. It was tight racing. I had a good seat for most of the battle up front the whole time, so it was a good job by Austin there to get the win. And I know Westerfield and I had a good battle going ourselves quite a few times. So I don't know. It's been interesting to see, but I was trying my best to place Fuller.
That is true indeed, and you were so close to making the playoffs this season. You winning the race you needed, the very first playoff race at Bristol. But you had a great season overall, picking up that win at Bristol, as I mentioned. Will we expect to see you competing in the Winter Series?
Absolutely.
All right, and before I let you go, Jared, do you have anything for David?
It was a good season, brother. Fun racing with you. Almost came up for another one tonight. Too bad you had that one win 1 week too late. I'm pretty sure you put on a hell of a show in these playoffs, and it was good watching you race.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I got caught up in a lot of stuff early in the season and other people's stuff, and just part of racing. But I knew if I could ever just get to run, I could have some decent finishes, and uh, kind of showed that. But that's the way it works. Sometimes you just got to roll with the punches.
Absolutely. Do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give for the season-long year we've had?
Oh yeah, man, 2020, a 4-letter word's all I got to say. But thanks to everybody at DRL, UJP putting all this on. Everybody that does the takes the time to do the broadcasting and the race control. I've been there and done it myself. You don't get to race when you have to do the work, so it's not as much fun. So thanks to everybody that allows us to be able to race and do this, and thanks to everybody at DPR. Great bunch of guys, and I enjoy chatting with them every week. Look forward to it, and getting to talk with them during the races and stuff. So got big shout out to them.
All right, David, congrats on your 2nd place finish. A great way to make a statement for the end of the year, and looking forward to seeing you in the winter.
Same here. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, let's see if we can pull in Steven Sims coming home. Third in the points will be his finishing position in the standings with a 6th place here tonight. Hey, Steven Sims, this broadcast booth, you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, not quite the speed you were looking for on the track. Coming home in the 6th position, 3rd overall in the standings. Um, do you think a caution could have changed that for you? Or do you think Austin Collins was just too fast?
Well, it couldn't have hurt. Late restarts, anything could happen. So, I mean, it's a good year. Did pretty good overall. Kind of the one race format, one race championship at a track I'm not very good at doesn't help. But, you know, good job to Austin. He earned it really fast tonight.
Yeah, you had a great season overall. You had 3 wins on the year, one of the few drivers with multiple wins on the season. So can't be too disappointed in the season as a whole. Will we be seeing you compete in the Winter Series?
Yes, I don't know if I'll be full-time or not, but I'll be there for some of the races at least.
Sounds good. Looking forward to seeing you on the track. Jared, do you have anything for Steven?
Steven, it was fun racing with you this year, man. It was a good season, though. Obviously, got a couple wins in there, which is always good. Hate to see you didn't get to finish one tonight, but it can't be too bad with the season overall.
No, the season overall was good, and like you said, we had some good battles all year. Hopefully, we can have a good year in the trucks next year.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, Steven, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give out before we let you go?
You guys for doing everything you do, broadcasting and race control, everybody who does makes this thing run smoothly.
Alrighty, Steven, congrats on a great year overall, a 6th place here tonight, and we look forward to seeing you in the winter.
All right, thank you guys.
Alright, let's pull in Dakota Wilkins, and then we'll get to our champion. Dakota Wilkins, this broadcast booth, you have a copy?
Yeah, that I do.
Well, probably a little disappointment coming home in the 4th position. You led quite a few laps tonight, and then Austin Collins was able to get around you. Overall, though, a great season for you. Sorry. What is your outtake on the year?
Yeah, I gotta be happy with the season I had overall. 4 or 5 wins, regular season champion, which first any type of championship I've won in any sim racing capacity. So gotta be happy about that. I let a couple races slip away this year that I felt like I had a shot to win, and tonight was definitely one. If I was a little bit better in 1 and 2, I think I would have been able to save my tires a little bit better and would have been able to hold them off or to keep up with them. But overall, I can't be too disappointed with the season.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, regular season champion to your resume is pretty good. Looking forward to seeing what you can do should you be competing in this series next year. Bit of a scary moment when Richard Springer spun out there in front of you, huh?
Yeah, I actually was getting loose myself, and I was doing everything I could to clear him, and it started getting loose, and I'm like doing everything I can to save, and all of a sudden I look in my mirror, and he's around himself. So it sucks for Richard. He was definitely probably the favorite coming in here. He had like 6 wins. He's always great at saving his tires, so I definitely feel for him, and definitely was scary though.
It was. Do you have anything for Dakota?
Dakota, buddy, it's been a fun season. We've had some very tight races together. I hate to see you didn't get to finish one tonight. A little bit me is biased, as you know, but overall, it's been a hell of a year with you, buddy, and I hope to see you next year.
Yeah, man, same for you. I've always enjoyed racing you in Austin, and look for many more years of that.
Alrighty, Dakota, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give out?
Yeah, first and foremost, Austin, congrats on winning the championship. But I told him before the race started, either him or me, because that's been our motto every year or every race. As far as win, it's either his team or my team. So happy he got it. If it wasn't me, but you, JP, for owning this amazing league. Everyone who helped out with race control and the broadcasts. My FMS teammates, Craig, Jeremy, Doug. Craig and Doug have been kind of yelling at me because I've been down on myself after this race, but I'll get over it and move on. Everyone who watches my streams, they were supporting me all year, and couldn't quite get it done, guys, but we were close, and I hope I made you guys proud.
Absolutely nothing to hang your head about. This season was phenomenal to watch you race, Dakota, and looking forward to seeing you next year. Will you be competing in the Winter Series?
Possibly. Normally I take the winters off, so we'll see. I may make a start here and there.
Alrighty, Dakota. Congrats on your top 5 finish tonight and second place overall in the standings, regular season champion. Pretty good year, and we'll see you this winter, if not next season for sure.
Yeah, have a good one.
Alrighty, have a great night. And finally, let's pull in our 2020 Dynasty Racing League Truck Series champion, Mr. Austin Collins. Do you hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, heck of a race overall. You are the 2020 champion. How does that sound?
Sounds pretty good to me. 36 weeks in the making? Can't complain.
Yeah, you were extremely hot. You won the 3 of the last 4 races to end the year. One heck of a hot streak you had going on, and you were able to pull it off tonight, getting around Dakota Wilkins. Talk to us about that battle. It took quite a few laps for you to finally get around him.
Yeah, whenever I got the lead on those pit stops, and after Springer got taken out, or whatever happened to him, I knew Steven was pretty rough. That first run, I knew he couldn't really keep up too much, and Dakota was kind of there, but I know I was pulling him on the long run, so I just kind of let him run his pace there once he got the lead, because he was actually messing with something, and let him get by me. And once he got by me, I was like, I'll let him just set the pace, and I'll ride behind him and save him tires, and pretty much just let him burn off his right sides, and once they were gone, I went right on by.
Yeah, that was a heck of a patient you had there. Were you worried about a caution coming out? You think it could have got a little ugly there? Maybe a bumping run should he have been able to catch back up to you?
No, me and Dakota run pretty clean. If he would have given me a bump, it would have been all right. I'd give him a bump back sometime later. So, but the caution, I think, at that point, everybody would have came down for tires, and if they didn't, they would have seen what happened in real life with Brett Moffitt. They would have went right to the back and lost the championship. So I wasn't too concerned, but it definitely was in the back of my mind.
If the incident with Richard Springer didn't happen, you think you would have had something for him? He was awfully fast in the beginning of that run.
Yeah, like I said, I started like P10 or something. I had a horrible qualifying, and ended up getting up to second right before that caution came out. And once I got up to him, like I said, I pulled away from Dakota, and I was running Springer down slowly but surely, and I probably would have undercutted him, or tried to at least. It would have been interesting, but cards played out made it a lot easier on me, so I'll take it when I can get it.
Yeah, that's for sure. Joe, do you have anything for your teammate?
Well, buddy, you did it. You dominated all damn year. Probably the best season of racing I've ever seen you put down. I knew coming into this race you had a very good chance of winning it. Once Richard went out, I said that's all she wrote in my head, but I had to keep it unbiased for the broadcast. But you won it now, so it doesn't matter. I'm proud of you. I'm sure we'll go out and party sometime for one of these nights and have a good time.
We'll figure something out.
All right, Austin. What a year you had. You tied Richard for the most wins this season with now 6 winning here tonight. A heck of a year overall. Do you plan on participating in the Winter Series?
I don't know yet. I might. I'm not a huge fan of the K&N cars, Arca cars, whatever they are now. I might make an appearance or two, but who knows?
Alrighty. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to give out? Anyone that you'd like to thank for this championship?
Yeah, obviously I'd like to thank you all, UJP. I know it's been a rough year, a lot of things going on, but appreciate you for putting on the league. Without it, there wouldn't be no championships. I also want to thank my teammate here. I know he didn't run a lot of races, but I know if he would have stayed committed, he probably would have gave me a run for my money. I learned a lot of my stuff from him, so. Also got to thank Purcell, who didn't show up tonight. I know he's like an interim teammate, kind of. I don't know what he is, but he was there with us for that second half, so I got to thank him for showing up. Like I said, anybody that works with the league, I appreciate all that y'all do. It's been fun. 36 weeks in the making, like I said. So.
All right, Austin. Once again, congrats on the championship and tonight's victory here at Phoenix. You are the 2020 Dynasty Racing League Truck Series champion. Go out and celebrate tonight. Don't celebrate too hard, though. It is a work week.
You're right. I got to be up at 6. All right, have a good one.
All right, have a great night. Congrats on the win, and you'll get that trophy shortly.
All right, appreciate it.
And that was your champion. Let's go over the unofficial results. Austin Collins coming home the winner, 31 laps led. David Wright second. Jim Westfield third. Dakota Wilkins, 33 laps led, comes home fourth. Brent Kincott with a top 5 finish. Didn't really talk about him much tonight. Steven Sims sixth. Dustin Jones seventh. Ronnie Outlaw eighth. Daniel Holloway comes home ninth. Jerry Gordon 1 lap down in 10th. 11th goes to Craig Meyer, 2 laps down. Roy Grande in 12th, 4 laps down. Richard Springer led the most laps of 46. Unfortunately, got caught up in a turn 4 incident. Comes home 13th, 58 laps down. Rod Fosnar involved in that incident, 14th, 59 laps down. And then in 15th comes home Cody Barber, 97 laps down. And Jarrett Rogers rounds out the field in 16th, 107 laps down.
Highwayman sandwich, first and 16th, got them all surrounded.
That's a good way to look at it. But one heck of a race here tonight for everybody. Austin Collins coming home with the championship. What a year overall, ups and downs, but the season has been completed. We have a champion. What's your outtake on the whole year, Jarrett?
Well, considering 2020 has just been a complete shit show for everyone, I'd say everything that went down, the league itself, everything handled itself pretty well. We had a few hiccups in the road, but everything worked itself out. Couldn't be happier racing with some of these guys. Wish I would have had a little bit of luck myself this year, but that's just racing for you. I'm glad we had a good show out for these last few races, especially in these playoffs, as it is kind of hard to keep attendance up. And I'm sure there'll be plenty more races to come over the years in this league.
Absolutely. And before we log out here, I'd like to apologize to everyone that the broadcast consistency hasn't been the best. Hopefully we'll be able to have every single race broadcast in next season. Looking to have 2 series for the regular season for 2021. We'll be in a lot of discussion during the off season to figure out what we have, but expect a lot more out of these trucks. It's been a heck of a season. Last year was a heck of a season as well. Can only go up from here, and I'm sure you'll be back with us, Jared, seeing what you can do in the trucks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing it all again.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Thank you for tuning in all season. We'll see what we can do for Winter Series broadcasting. I believe it will be the K&N cars, so if anyone's interested in joining, please go to dynastyracingleague.com and hit that application button, and we'll get you on the roster. Thank you for everyone who has made Dynasty Racing League possible. James Pandolf, owner Financial. Thank you to race controllers, Dakota Wilkins, Jeremy Hebel, Thomas Herman, who has joined the trucks the last couple of races. Rod Fosnar, David Wellborn Jr. for broadcasting. Thank you for joining me tonight. Jared, it's been a blast having you in the booth.
Absolutely.
Thank you to everybody else who has helped us in both race control and broadcasting. And thank you to the marketing graphics team of Martin Wenzel and Jordan Gonzalez. And that'll do it here tonight. Congrats on our series champions, Eric Wolf Grand National Series and Austin Collins Truck Series.